My dinner with Stan a few nights ago. My old boyfriend Stan called to say he wanted to meet up. I hadn't seen him in years. We'd had a falling out over what you might call spiritual differences. But that was a long time ago, so I agreed to dinner at a little place we used to enjoy in the old days. Dante's. He was already there when I showed up, looking sharp and hot as always, picking at a piece of meat, extra rare, on a plate in front of him. "Hey," I said. "Well, I'll be damned." "Hey." I sat. "Sorry about ordering," he said sheepishly, "but I was starting to doubt you'd show, and I was famished. As you know, the Hungarian here is to die for." "That's fine." I looked over the menu. "If you're not up for Hungarian, Korean perhaps," he suggested. "Thanks, but I try not to eat meat. Not that kind at least. Not anymore." I ordered salad. "You look amazing," I said. "You too." It was a lie I wanted to believe. "So, how have you been?" "Good. You?" "Not bad. All things considered. Life's been messy. You probably know I converted, right? I'm a Buddhist now." "I do." He grinned. "Yet here I am. Maybe that should tell you something." Before I could respond, I kid, he added, still grinning. "I'm sure it's a fine belief system. Everyone's all about subjectivity these days anyway." "How's business?" I asked. "Booming. More clients than we know what to do with." "That's good. We're thinking about expanding." That surprised me. "Which?" No. A new one altogether. A 10th. "My God," I said. "Right. Congratulations. Even if it does feel weird to say that as a Buddhist. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. We're looking for someone. Someone with your kind of, shall we say, skill set and experience." "I don't do that anymore," I said. "It's an upper management position." "Still. Not tempted?" "Funny," I said. "But no. I know we didn't work out, but I always had tremendous respect for how you carried yourself professionally. It would be a privilege to work with you again." "I can't," I said, genuinely flattered. "Karma. Something like that." "You know it's not real," he said. "Reincarnation also isn't a thing." "I know. And still. Yes." I crunched on my salad to punctuate the thought, feeling like a defenseless rabbit. "That's a shame." He looked me over, his dark eyes peering as if into my very soul. "But, you know, in some fucked up way I'm actually proud of you. You turned your life around. Yes, you turned it around from the right direction to the wrong, and now you're under the sway of some Eastern metaphysical bullshit, but not many people can truly change." We chatted for a few minutes more. "Then, I'll be seeing you," I said, and Rising Satan responded with a hint of melancholy, "I always thought so too. Now I'm not so sure." He was in my walls. Ever since I was a kid, I had always wanted to have my own house one day. I have 4 siblings, all girls. And they were always so loud, they were either fighting over who takes a shower first, or who took whose makeup, and where so-and-so's charger went. The point I'm trying to make is they always had something to fight about. I wished so hard that my mom would have another boy, but I guess I didn't wish hard enough. Just the idea of a quiet house for me was heaven. When I turned 18 I was finally old enough to move out, and I was so excited. Having a house all to myself makes me laugh because it was too hard to believe. I moved into this small apartment a couple of months ago, and the first 2 months were amazing. There was no yelling sisters, no running around the house, and best of all, there was no line for the bathroom. Everything in this apartment was mine, and I wasn't going to put it to waste. My friends came over a lot to see my apartment, and they all said it was tiny, but I didn't care. It was my house and it was big enough for me. Everything was going so well, until 3 months ago. I don't know why or how, but I've been hearing things coming from around my apartment, whether it's things shifting around or just tiny things being out of place. My things were never in the place I left them last. I tried setting it aside, telling myself that I probably moved that myself and just forgot, or I've always had a bad memory so I most likely moved that. I always tried to convince myself that it was me moving the things. But it got so bad that I couldn't blame myself anymore. One night while I was about to go to bed, I heard a noise coming from my living room. I quickly got up to look but didn't see anything. I shook my head and went back to my room, making sure I shut the door behind me, and laid back down. I couldn't fall asleep, so I just stared at the roof, hoping it was enough for me to pass out. After looking at the roof for a good 30 minutes, I finally passed out. I got up in the morning with the biggest migraine. I went onto my phone to send my daily good morning text, and that's when I saw it. When I opened my phone, I was on the Photos app. I don't remember coming on here, I said to myself. I go through my gallery and there I see a photo I don't remember taking. There was a picture of me sleeping. I live alone. I know I live alone, so why is there a photo of me sleeping? I jump out of bed and scan my room just to find no one in sight. I call my mom and quickly tell her what I just saw. She got into her car as quick as she could and drove to my apartment. I packed all I needed and got in the car and drove back to her house. I was not going to take my chances and stay in that house any longer. There could have been someone in my house, and who knows what they could have done to me. We finally arrived to my childhood home and I went inside to unpack. When I was in the car with my mom, I had already called the police and filled them in on the situation. Later that day I got a call from the police station. I was told to come down, and so I did. When I got there, I saw a man in handcuffs glaring at me. I turned to go to the front desk. I was called down here. I said to the lady at the desk. Yes, we wanted to tell you that we found the person whom was in your house. I was shocked. After hearing all of those things moving in my house, I needed to see who it was that was coming into my apartment every night. She walked me over to the man. This man right here, she says. I look at him. This is the man who has been coming into my apartment every night. I stare at him. More like living, she sighs. We found him in your walls. There was a little door that we almost didn't catch, and there we found him, sleeping. I could not believe what I was hearing. The man in front of me was living with me, and I didn't even know. How long has he been there? I say to the lady. About 6 months. I was speechless. I've been living in there for almost 5 months. That means that there has been a man living with me this whole time. I didn't want to hear any more, so I leave the police station and go back to my mom's house. Ever since that day I have never wanted to live by myself ever again. Love and obsession her. Judgment. Agitated quivers played embers across her charcoaled vein. Fragmented memories of emotion haunted his, unchecked, worry for her still form. Time. She would never understand. But he didn't need her to. He needed a cure. Retribution seemed fitting for the acts committed in search for his wife's salvation. Guilt, an unyielding grasp on a once tender heart, turned cold for the woman he loves. Months had passed since the tears stopped falling for the lives given to his wife. Her comatose state never faltering, never giving back for the constant sacrifice. Every mother, every father, every child that had to die in search for her waking. The day she comes back to him will be the day his road paved to hell will glow brilliant with fortunate embers. It will be his sacrifice. His alone to bear. She will never know.